estás?
How do you say yarrow?
Welcome to How Do You Say Yarrows?
How do you say yarrow? How do you say yarrow?
It'll be all the fun in the world. Hey, everybody!
Hey, everybody.
Welcome.
How do you say yarrows?
There we are. We're frazzled. But
when you say frazzled, I think of something on Baker Street. Do you remember? That's nobody dazzled on Baker Street. Something. It's a Sherlock Holmes reference. Anyway, All right. So we are talking today about something that we have promised that we would talk about, and we are returning back to it.
are both of our 30th birthdays. If you recall, back in season 1,
That's right.
many moons ago, we said we would talk about Gabby's 30th. We talked about her 30th birthday in advance. We did not follow up on her 30th birthday. We said we would follow up on my 30th birthday, and today we are going to do both.
Yahoo!
Because there is a great saying, better late than never, right?
That's right. I fully believe it.
Do we want to talk about yours first?
You know? Sure. Let's do it.
All right.
That makes sense.
So, Gabby, you came in, if our listeners recall, a lot of expectations for your 30th birthday.
Yes.
What was, like, a highlight of your 30th birthday?
Okay. Highlight for my 30th birthday was, I don't know if many people do this. For me, I had pictured my 30th birthday.
Okay.
And kind of daydreamed about it a little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I think, I don't know, we talk about birthdays a lot in my family, and especially my sister really, pumps us up for our birthdays, and 30th has always been one that everyone's like, oh, what are you going to do for your 30th? Over and over again.
Yeah.
And so for whatever reason, I had kind of daydreamed about my 30th before it happened, and I really had pictured in my head, everybody, in an open air, green area, all, our family friends, and little kids to, my parents and their friends, just, all the generations, playing together, eating food, and, just, having fun together, and it's just, beautiful image in my head, and that image totally played out at my 30th.
Yeah, your birthday was awesome.
It was that. It was a beautiful day. They had, they planned it at this beautiful park that I had never been to. It was just, we had this huge area, awesome pavilion, all these different spaces, and it was a really stunning September day, and it was just very beautiful, the way that they had set it up, and they had a really gorgeous, setup for different pictures and everything.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The pictures from my birthday are so beautiful. Everybody looks so great, and I just think it just really captures it, a very just beautiful moment with everybody and their kids, and my aunts and uncles and family friends, just that was so awesome.
Yeah, your birthday was awesome. So one of the cool parts about the park for her birthday that we found was there's no through traffic through that area. It's kind of just this, not certain how Mercer County set this up. It's the county where we live in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And it's just a park where there's really just a rented pavilion, but no through traffic. So, which was great for us because it was really when you're getting this, it is your own private world. Nobody is accidentally coming to this area.
Yeah.
So that was a huge one. Your weather was beautiful too.
My weather was beautiful, and you know what? People really worked hard to get there. Some people traveled from Virginia, people traveled from New York, people, came pretty far, some people. And so they brought together a lot of people for my 30th. So it was really cool.
That was your sister and your mom inviting people.
They worked really hard.
They did a great job getting that out.
Different people there. It was just so much fun. Yeah. So that's one of my main takeaways. Just that daydream, actually came to life, and that was very special for me. So just the creation of that memory in real life. Yeah. I love that.
That's very beautiful.
One other takeaway for me was I really wanted a surprise for my 30th birthday, and I knew what I was asking for. I knew that when you ask for a surprise party, it's a lot of work on the people that are making it, and I just was excited to have someone else plan it for me.
Yeah, it was very fun that way.
Yeah, I knew that's a big ask, but I wanted that. I wanted to walk into what they had created for me, and they did it for me. My family worked so hard, Adam worked so hard for everybody to kind of make it happen, and I really was not a part of the planning process. I knew I didn't want to be surprised that, like, actually, I guess I was. I knew that I had something planned for the day of my like, I wasn't surprised about the day.
Yeah.
I knew that I had something going on that day, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was a party. I didn't know if it was a dinner. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So I didn't ask to be surprised on the day, because that I always think is a nightmare. Like, you don't have to trick me. And so that made it awesome, because Caitlin, like, you know, went and made sure I got my hair and makeup done, like, all of these fun things that we were able to do together. But, you know, then they totally tricked me about where I was going or whatever. So I didn't need to be surprised on the day, but really I wanted out of the work. Honestly, I got out of the work of it, and I just got to enjoy this beautiful product that everybody created with, and what they wanted for me. Like, I didn't plan it either. You know, sometimes people want a surprise, but they say, I want X, Y, and Z. I didn't have any thought of it. Like, I just, sometimes for me, the planning is stressful too. Like, so I just was like, your creativity, like, I trust you. And they did something so awesome, you know? So I was so blessed by them.
She was
they did all the work.
An excellent birthday girl. And Gabby's true to her word. She did not, like, when she said she wanted a surprise, she was excellent with it, because she did not micromanage in any way of, like, oh, I really want, like, kind of like secretly planning. No, she was like, the only two things we asked about Gabby, which were, she might not remember that, but one was, and she was great with it, because it really does help with, like, for a surprise party, like, okay, we're going to surprise you in all the details, but not having to try to trick you or create something fake for a day, because that's always awkward of, like, oh, why can't I do something with a friend? Like, that's unfair.
Stressful,
The only other thing we really asked your help with was, so it was the year after we got married, so we had our wedding list, which was, like, our basis. The only thing I think we asked was, like, is there anybody from our wedding list that you would want to add on now? Of like, because that's something, like, you know, it's something we don't always know of, like. Totally. Yeah, you know, that was one area of, like, okay, we really can't, like, read your mind on it. And
they were good with that, because the way they asked me, I can't remember how, it was really Adam and Caitlin. They kind of did it in a way, I didn't know if those people were actually going to be invited, because I didn't know what the event was, but they kind of said, if we were going to do something, you know, who are people that you might envision there? Like, who would you think, oh, that would be a fun person to have?
That wasn't me.
Caitlin kind of asked me that way, so it didn't give away what we were doing, you know? She kind of said it that way, so I was like, oh, well, I mean, I could envision these people there, so that way they could work that out. But so those were my two huge, wonderful things. What about you?
Okay, so my birthday was 30th was just this summer, so very exciting. We're doing much better on the follow-up on this one. Much quicker, people. We're doing so good.
We're growing.
But really my excitement was, I did not want a surprise, mainly because I like just, like, being able to answer a simple question. And really, like, you know, our families were so great in planning it. Gabby's parents, Mary Kay and Leo, were so gracious. They hosted the party at their house, really did a ton of work to make it possible. So it was so kind of them. And of course, Kate and Gabby too. Like, you know, but I do want to, and Liam, you know, everybody, and John, and everybody really contributed. And that was so very thoughtful. The other part was we were going away right before it for a week at camp. So basically for 5 days right before, because my birthday party was on a Saturday, we couldn't really do anything. So it was like, okay, I do want to help beforehand, because, like, not only is it's a big ass to host at a house, because we had about maybe 60 some people, probably 60 to 70.
Yes.
So it's like, it's a lot of people.
We actually had over 70 in the end. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. So it was like, it was spread over, you know what, it's spread over time, so it's harder. Yeah. So it was like, okay, I really do want to help with this. But you know, for me, the highlight, my two big highlights, one was the relay race. That was so much fun. Gabby's brother, my brother-in-law, Liam, planned it. It was great. We had about, like, I would say at the time of people there, sorry, I just burped a little, it's disgusting. Salad. About half the people do the relay race, which was amazing. And then the other half were all watching it. So it was great both ways. Like, if you didn't want to do it, you had a lot of entertainment watching it.
So let me set the scene for the relay race. So we had this relay race. Really, my brother kind of planned out a lot of it, but he checked in with Adam about the planning of it, so they adjusted things together. So really, it was their baby. And they had created this relay race, so anybody could be a part of it. And we had modifications if anybody has, you know, issues doing parts of the relay race, because I think there were like 6 stations in the relay.
Oh, somewhere around there. Yeah. It was a fairly lengthy relay.
Something
race.
About that. So and they also played We Will Rock You.
Yeah, I just threw that on rant.
That was
yeah.
great because we hadn't planned that. So you played that on loop.
Yeah, it was very annoying by the end of it.
I thought that was hysterical, playing that on loop. And the amount of people, it ended up being, I think, 13 people on each team. I think it was 13.
13, 15, somewhere around there, yeah.
I think it was 13 because each team, someone had to go twice in order to make it even. Because when you went through the relay, it was 2 people working together. And we did the teams randomly. So they, people randomly chose. So you really mix people up. And then they went through the relay. So, and then everybody, it was so funny. We didn't know if you will be interested. Everyone just naturally, literally turned their chairs to that part of the yard.
Yeah, it was very...
to watch the relay play out. And it is hysterical.
And that one of the highlights for me personally of this was we videoed most of it. Obviously you can't get everybody doing everything, but we were able to tell who cheated in the relay race as well.
Yeah, it's great.
So we can start naming some names here. Do we feel comfortable with this?
Absolutely.
Pierce Shine.
Yes.
When you were at the end on the dice, you cheated in there. You clearly tipped it so you could have an easier... So let's go with the stations here, actually.
Okay,
so it starts off with Dizzy Bat, where you have to have your head on a wiffle ball bat and spin around.
While you are blindfolded with a mask.
And then you have to run to a partner who's calling you. Now, I do have to say, I felt that there was some unfair cheating in this.
Oh, I totally cheated during this part.
Yeah, because people would go to the other team and try to confuse them, which isn't necessarily unfair.
Yeah.
However, when people would touch the other team,
yeah.
I felt like that was where it's like, you're literally picking up a person and guiding them in the wrong direction. It's a step far.
So you had to do the Dizzy Bat 10 times, and people really got messed up.
It was hilarious.
Like they were on their hands and knees. It was really, really funny. And we had said at the outset, if you want to yell to try to mess them up of where they need to go once they're blindfolded, and people did it, and it was all good fun.
Yeah, it was great.
So we did that. So then they got to
the caller.
Can Jam.
Yeah, and then you have to throw a frisbee and hit a Can Jam slot.
Yeah.
From there, it was wheelbarrow.
Yeah, wheelbarrow.
After that, you had to get you had to pick up the volleyball and back-to-back drop it in the bucket for another person.
Yeah.
And then you had to do each member of your team had to land a beanbag on a beanbag board, or somebody had to just score a point.
Yeah.
After that, there was a dice, which this was actually I thought
a jumbo die.
A jumbo die, and it was depending upon the number, you either had to give somebody a piggyback ride, leapfrog back, or you could just run straight back. And you could roll as many times as you wanted until you got to that your desired one.
Yeah.
That's where Pierce cheated. It clearly did not land on either of those. Any of them, he tapped it to get it to land, and we have video footage, so this is irrefutable proof.
I also cheated because you see my leapfrog, and I'm totally like...
Yeah, there's some...
It's such a cheating leapfrog.
Yeah.
I also kind of cheat in it when we're doing the volleyball.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to touch the volleyball between backs, and I'm kind of like using my arm to do it. But you see, it's just so funny to watch people do this relay. So
yeah, it's the utter hilarity.
If you are looking for something to do at an adult's birthday, I guess you could do it with kids too, but really it was so funny with adults.
Childhood is wasted on children.
We highly recommend creating your own relay race.
Yep.
And it's fun for people to watch. It was hysterical.
And
it took a significant amount of time.
Yeah, it was exactly what I had hoped for. And also what was really nice with it, between the two teams, my team lost, but it was fairly competitive.
It was so close.
Yeah, it was, I think the other team won by your team won, I want to say by
one station.
No, you won by several.
2 stations.
No, you won by about half the length of one.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you were far enough ahead, but it was
only until that one though, because after there were points where you guys were in front of us. And yeah, you were. And then there were points where it was even. So rarely right at the end. So it was very close. So of course that made it fun.
Yeah, that does add a nice, in my mind, that adds a healthy of okay, that's always fun.
It wouldn't have been fun if it wasn't close.
Yeah, it's fun. So that was the great part about it, because also the beauty is there's no one right type of person that will do well at this. It's these are who does well at Dizzy Bet. It's completely random, of who's going to be great at this and who's going to be terrible at it. So yeah, so that was definitely...
So that activity was really clutch for your party. That was a big one for you.
That was a dream of mine. I love that.
Yeah.
I love a good amount. And it was also right. This isn't taking up the whole night, but it is for okay, it's maybe a half hour we're doing this. We could get full focus on this for the half hour. And that's all I want. After that, free range of all that. And then the second thing that I loved was, all the food was great. Everybody showed up. I did love the bonfire. Love a good fire.
Oh, bonfire was beautiful.
That playing Mafia by that. That's always, always I love a good bonfire in Mafia. Yeah. We talked. We have to do another one this summer still. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. We do want to do one more bonfire before we lose the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam loves building a fire, so we actually kind of built a new fire pit at my parents to do it, and it was really epic. And actually, you had great weather for your birthday.
Yeah,
really good weather.
Yeah, really for all of our.
Both of these were outdoor.
Yeah, really super grateful that in both of these we had great weather, timing. Yeah, really it was just like all of these things were great, but.
Do you have any takeaways from my birthday?
From your birthday?
Yeah.
Ooh, takeaways.
Uh-huh.
I think the divide and conquer method for your birthday was the big win. So Gabby's birthday was complex in simple in some ways, complex in others. Simple because much of the setup is already done by the place for like tables, chairs, and things like that. But the complex part is everybody has to bring all the other things there.
Yes.
And it was great because it was, there were so many different people, so it wasn't very centralized in a lot of these. But that was great because it was like, okay, I know Gabby's uncle and a family friend, the Shines, father of Pierce, the cheater Pierce. I'm sorry, Pierce. I don't know why I'm harping on you here.
I love you, Pierce.
Love you. Mean it. They just did a great job cooking and running a lot of those stations. I got the drinks. Your mom did a ton of the setup for like decorations along with Kate. Liam ran a game for that. It was, so to me, I think that was like, for some of those larger parties, especially when it's mobile, it was great that it wasn't too centralized. Like many people, like kind of like, okay, it was helpful delegation, but then once we got this, you're on your own. You got to take care of this type of thing,
nice.
That I thought was really helpful because it helped keep, in any of those larger parties, it helps make sure no one person does not get stressed. So I thought that was for a larger party, spreading out and letting divide and conquer really made it very easy and very fun. Because some people were there early to set up and then you're kind of chiller during the party. Other people came kind of like when the party started and then there. And then we had a couple great people that just helped clean up.
That's true. We did have a lot of helpers.
Yeah. What about you?
I think one takeaway for me was really, it was so exciting for Adam's birthday because we go to church and he works at a church that is like 45 minutes from where we live. So it was so exciting because we had the people from our church, like our community there at the party, like friends from there, and then also friends from like local friends of where we live, and all these people together, like a sampling, obviously, like not everybody in the world, but an amount of people from both, I kind of feel like both worlds that we live in, and I just like, it was such a blessing, I felt like, to have the worlds collide.
Yo, that was so fun.
That was so fun, because like our close friends that are local to us, and with the other friends, and like they were partnering together in the relay and talking to each other, and it was just like, that was a really wonderful thing, having the worlds combine. That was so awesome.
Oh, so fun.
So awesome. Because, we live far away, so it's not always possible for that to happen and people to travel, and it doesn't really make sense. So this was, a good way for that to happen. I love that.
So fun.
That's so good.
Well, those are our birthdays. We hope we got it all covered up. But
we highly recommend you celebrating your 30th birthday in a big way. It definitely helped us both get over the hump of becoming 30, and
I loved it.
Just enjoy it. Like, just really celebrate it and enjoy it.
Yeah. So we'd love your email feedback at howdoyousayyaros@gmail.com. Also, please give us a 5-star review, like, comment, subscribe, do all those good things for us.
We're not getting any younger.
We're not getting what? Well, that's depressing. See you later.